you reach a point of confidence in yourself at some point. I think you'll just know. If you've built enough things yourself, you know like what exactly it takes to build a product. What I would describe my experience as is like I just tried a bunch of different things out. What specifically worked for me, that worked the best, was like building a project with intent. After I quit my job, I went on this 10-day silent meditation retreat. Like I didn't talk to anyone, didn't speak, didn't write, didn't even read. It was honestly like a big gamble. I'm like running out of runway. Like, I can't pay rent here in SF. So then I was like, fuck, what do I do? The first 48 hours, I made like $5,000.
No way.
Off of just like the one tweet with a Stripe link in the tweet.
What did you do next? Now you made the 5K, you're able to move to SF, you've made 11K now so far, but then LLM report kind of comes out of nowhere and you win Vercel's Accelerator.
Yeah. I was surprised by that too, honestly, at the end. I did like 23 hackathons in college. Every weekend, I would like find like any hackathon going on. I would just like have intent, I'm gonna build a project, and then I just like go ham for that one weekend.
Dillion, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Do you want to give an introduction about yourself for the people that might be new here?
Sure, yeah. So my name's Dillion. I build cool shit right now, and that brought me here to SF and with you guys. But more specifically, right now I'm building a project called LLM Report, and it's an like AI observability tool.
You know, some dude came in it was like a Bifrost hack night, and he thought I was him.
You thought you were Dillion?
What?
Like he thought I was him for like 2 hours, and then at the end we were all like sitting around, and then he points to me. He's like, "Bro, this dude's the best builder here." And like, you know,
everyone was like, "Wait,
everyone was like,
that can't be right."
This guy, like they point to me, and then the kids like, "Yeah, he won the Vercel Accelerator," and they're like, "No, that's Dillion."
Oh shoot! Wait, I can't tell if you're bullshitting me though.
I'm
Is this
not
actually happening?
Yeah, it was some. Yeah, I swear to God, it was a kid that came in, and the funniest part is I had met this guy.
Yeah.
Like you said, your name was Vishal.
I don't know if we exchanged names, but
he thought you were Dillion the first time you met?
that's a good. No, he knew who I was because he was here for AISF Hackathon.
That's crazy.
So like he definitely knew
you
who
must
I
have left
was.
the impact.
But he came in
impression.
and he was like, "You've been killing it. I've been seeing what you guys are building on social media." And I was like, "Oh, he's watching Founders Inc. like the videos." So I was like, "Appreciate you."
I know what's going on. The black cat, the beard.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "It's crazy what you're doing with Vercel." He said Vercel a few times, and I was like, maybe we know someone at Vercel. So I was like, yeah, we know a few people at Vercel. Yeah.
It's like one person, and it's Stephen Tay.
Yeah, whoever Dill Pickle knows. But that was my first. That's how I learned about you.
I see. So that guy was the one who
Literally sitting around. So this like Dill Pickle, there's like 20 people, right?
Yeah.
Like Rox is there, and he's like, "That's the best builder here." And they're all
Rox is like, "Well, no."
They're all like, "What? Like him?"
That's so funny.
We got an office full of 200 builders. There's one non-builder, and he was like, "That's the
And
one."
literally, he was like, "Man, I gotta ask you, how'd you win that Vercel Accelerator?" And everyone was like, no.
Yeah, but you gotta teach me.
But they couldn't even let me say like, I am not this guy.
They had to jump in for him. They were like, they couldn't risk Vishal being like, "Yeah,
they told me to leave the room too.
That's crazy.
Just so he wouldn't get more association.
Oh my god.
They were protecting you. They're real friends.
Damn. Yeah, Build Space crew is like really, really nice. It's like a second fam. Yeah. I found a lot of like really good friends here since I came.
That's really awesome. How long have you been in Build Space for? Like at least the school?
So the school specifically is like when it joined, like I think July 6th or so. Yeah, that's when
it's almost wrapped up.
Yeah, it's been like 8 weeks in so far, 8-9 weeks.
What do you think the biggest kind of like impact has been for you?
I personally really value the connections with the people here. I found that before this, I was like building stuff by myself alone. I was like cooped up in an apartment in Toronto, just like building random shit. So doing that for like too long, like you just get lost in your head, right? Like you're not talking to people, you're not like learning new things. But here, like every day, someone has like a new, like, I don't know, they found something on Twitter, some new technology, some new thing they learned, and they just share it with you. And like you can bounce ideas back and forth with them. So that was like super, super valuable. And then being in that space, like every day, you get exposure to like new things and like new, I guess, ideas. And you learn faster that way too.
To kind of wind back, when you were younger, you wanted to be a doctor because you wanted to help people.
Yes.
But at some point, you kind of made the switch to becoming an engineer because you realized you could help people at scale instead of kind of like one at a time.
Did your homework.
Yeah, I did. When did you make that decision? How old were you?
Yeah, so for me, this was in grade 11. I know in the US, you guys call it like junior year.
We do call it junior year in the US, yes.
Okay, yeah, so junior year. I had to prepare to like figure out like what I want to do after high school. And then my intent for like my whole life up until then was like become a doctor. And then part of it's like my parents, I guess, pushed me towards that. It's like, it's a high paying role. Like, you know, Indian parents are like doctor, lawyer,
Yeah.
right? But also some of it is like for like a personal motive as well. Since I was younger, I've always liked helping other people, and doctors seemed like a nice way to do that. Like I would just like help save lives every day. Yeah, so like that's what pushed me towards that. And then grade 11, I joined this camp called SHAD. It's like this thing in Canada. So like a bunch of kids from a bunch of high schools around Canada go to different universities for a summer, and they just like, it's sort of like build space actually. Like you like they help you build stuff. It's like, and like they teach you like things and
It's not affiliated with Shad CN, right?
no, it's not. No, it's separate. Yeah. Yeah, but that was a really cool program. And then there was one specific lecture that I heard there that really changed my perspective overall. So it was a lecture about passion. There was a speaker who basically just like gave a rundown about like why you should pursue your passion long term. I forget the specific details of the speech specifically, but I remember it like completely moved me. And then that's when I decided like, okay, doctor is something that I like, but I'm not like really passionate about that. I'm just passionate about helping people. And then I figured that I'm really passionate about tech because I was a big gamer and like just like tinker around with the computers and stuff back then. So I figured let's just go deeper into that in grade 11. And then that's when I started like focusing more on like tech, learning, coding, all that.
And did you know how to code before you made that decision?
I did one like intro class in grade 10, which is sophomore year, I guess.
Interesting.
Is that what you call it, sophomore? Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
great.
It's very confusing because I've had people I've talked to in the past where I say like grade 10 and they're like, what is that? Like what's grade 10? And
Who doesn't know? Like people in the U.S.?
people in the US, yeah. There's like a big
Like they were just
discrepancy in
messing
this.
with you.
I don't know. Like there's like a lot of small things that I say they just don't know. Like I said reach the other day and you don't know what reach was.
Reach?
Yeah.
What's reach?
Like the technical term, reach?
No, like say I'm like going somewhere and I say like, yo, you should reach.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
That's
Yeah,
Toronto
it's a
thing.
Toronto or Canada thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it means like come over. Like you should come too.
I'm
reach.
uncomfortable at the idea of someone saying, yeah, you should reach.
Yeah,
We're
you
going
went-
to the bridge. You should reach.
You went to Toronto over there. Aleem not here, bro.
Aleem not here.
Yeah.
What happened to William? Is he still in Canada?
Actually, I haven't met Aleem.
You
Oh,
haven't?
you don't know Aleem?
I don't know who Aleem is. Yeah, I don't know.
All y'all builders in Toronto don't know each other?
I don't think so. There's not much of a community like the vibe here. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's what I found personally.
Aleem
Yeah.
was one of the first friends we made when we both kind of came into F-Inc about a year ago now, or a little more over a year ago.
I see, and he's from Toronto too.
Yeah, he's from Toronto. I
Okay.
remember the first time Vishal and him had a conversation. 3 sentences in, Vishal's like, "You're from Canada," and Aleem's like, "How'd you know that?"
Yeah, his accent
Oh.
was super
Oh, yeah, it
clear.
gives it away.
Yours isn't as
Yeah,
clear.
yeah. Yeah, I don't have like the slang too much. I was like a bit of suburbs, so like outside of Toronto City.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So now to kind of talk about how you got into engineering. You mentioned that like before you went through Khan Academy, you went through like Code Academy, Coursera, all of like the coding tutorial courses.
yeah.
But it was kind of overwhelming for you.
Yes, yeah, it was.
I
Yeah.
feel like that was the
I
same
think-
thing where
yeah.
for a lot of people now, just like not everyone, but a lot of people I've met feels like a lot of people have had a bad first experience with like Coursera or like trying to learn how to code a website, but instead you get caught up with like variables and functions and you just kind of lose interest.
Mm-hmm.
What was the difference for you after that kind of made you be able to learn engineering?
What I would describe my experience as is like I just tried a bunch of different things out. And then what specifically worked for me that worked the best was like building a project with intent. So like say you have some goal, like I want to build this, I don't know, like an iOS app, like to-do list app, for example. And you just go and build whatever you need to build, like to finish that app, right? That way you don't get distracted with like all the like information overload. There's a lot of tutorials out there, a lot of different technologies, and there's just a lot to consume. But if you focus on like the one thing and go there, like you learn a lot like along that process. So for me, I did like this, but at a very, very like long time frame, like a large scale. So like I had like, so one data point for me is like I did like 23 hackathons in college. So like every weekend I would like find like any hackathon going on. I would just like have intent. I'm gonna build a project, and then I just like go ham for that one weekend. Like learn everything I need to do and
Interesting.
and build that one project. And I know like these are the things I learned. And then every subsequent one, I would like have stuff I learned from my previous projects. I could like move into the next one. Yeah, it's like a compounding.
How many did
machine.
you win?
Like 5, maybe.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting about hackathons though is I feel like from the people I've talked to, some of my friends that are in SF, they've kind of said that when you want to go in to win a hackathon, sometimes it's not about building something cool. It's just about building something that's designed well that will appeal to the judges. So did you kind of figure that out along the way, or were you actually just trying to build whatever you wanted to build?
Yeah, that's a good question. I did notice that trend. So in the very beginning, I was very naive. I just want to like build cool shit. So I just like came there, like found whatever idea and like build that. And then I was like, whatever's cool. There's one random idea that I built for one hackathon was like, you experience yourself in third person. So the way that worked was like you wear a VR headset and there's a camera behind you and it's facing towards you and you walk around the room like seeing yourself as like a GTA character. It was a really, really cool idea, but that didn't win the hackathon. But yeah, there is an element of like focusing on like the demo specifically and the pitch that I learned later on. That if you really put in like 2 hours preparing for like the pitch and like have like a nice, like presentation slide demo, you can win a hackathon with like zero work. And I noticed a lot of other people like going with that intent too. Like they have like a project pre-planned, they have like, a few slides, a few nice visuals, and then they just like do really well.
You're obviously the person behind all of our events at Founders Inc. Do you think there are too many hackathons that people are doing in the city now?
No, because people keep showing up.
Interesting.
If people stop showing up, then it's too many, right? If everyone's getting like 50 people to a hackathon and people want to keep building like he's saying, there's probably like a collection of 100 people that want to do 20 hackathons in a month.
BuildSpace did an interesting shift. I think in S4, they were like, we don't want it to just feel like it's about users or like growing a SaaS product, but we instead want to emphasize like building something that's cool. I wonder if there's a way to kind of take that same shift and apply it to hackathons. Because like we did Arena X, we did AISF, and those felt really good.
And we know the greatest hackathon ever. Greatest hackathon player ever. He's the GOAT buffer. He's won thousands.
Who is this?
It's you.
Imran.
Who's Imran?
Imran, yeah.
Oh my God.
Who's this guy?
So Imran.
You don't know who Imran is?
No?
Oh my God.
So Imran's one of our friends. He's also a Founders Inc. portfolio founder.
Okay.
And
He's not my friend. He's more of a confidant. Go ahead.
The way he actually got his job, initially he worked at Palo Alto Networks. And the way he actually got that job coming out of like not a top tier school without like much engineering experience, he just won a bunch of hackathons and like literally forced them to let him in because of how many hackathons he won.
Oh, wow.
Like his whole thing before was just like, I would win hackathons to prove myself.
He had like a specific...
Like he would just go in like specific, like I'm going to win this. And he would just win.
And that was the entry to get a job?
Yeah, because they were literally like I think his manager's manager didn't even want him to get hired or something because he didn't have like the credibility or like didn't have like the prestige.
Oh, wow.
But he was like, bro, look at all these things I've done.
Yeah, they said my guy didn't have prestige. That's crazy.
And then literally he brute forced his way in by just winning all of these hackathons, so they couldn't say no.
That's so wild. I've never heard of that happening actually. Like from my experience, like when applying for jobs, it's like a very different game than like building projects and like doing hackathons and stuff.
Speaking of VR headsets.
Oh, there you go.
Can you see it?
Okay, so when you're applying to jobs, then what's it like? What do you have to optimize for? Because you worked in big tech. You worked in big tech before you kind of got into startups.
It's a different game. It's like you're focusing on like presenting yourself and like optics and one specific thing for engineers is like being good at leak code. It's like practicing coding problems and like
that's
these
true
types of
actually.
Things. Yeah, and my personal opinion is that it's like not a really good indicator for how good an engineer is, because you can just like learn these games and play these games and just like get in and like that's all you need to get in. Yeah.
So the way getting into, I think big tech works right now. It's all based on like leak code, which is a very specific type of like, or it's like, well, actually, it's not a type of problem. It's like an actual like website.
Yeah, it's a specific platform actually. Like it's called LeetCode, LeetCode.com.
And so you would just go in and you would have to solve these like technical problems of like, here's a function you want to do like X, Y, Z. Can you do this like sorting array or like you have like these variables. How can you make this happen? And the way these companies think is like this is a good representation of whether or not someone can code.
It's like SAT.
Yeah, very close. Yeah. But then the problem with SAT is you could theoretically get a 1600 without being great at English and without being great at math if you just pattern match and do enough SAT practice. Like it's not actually a good representation of whether or not you're good at math or English.
I think you pick up enough doing pattern practice? Like
maybe
a
enough
base?
to pass the test, but not enough to like be a better engineer. For example, like we know a bunch of people here that might not be able to get into big tech, but they're definitely better engineers than most of these people that just grinded leak code through
100%.
college.
But is that what big tech needs? So,
Probably not.
right? It's like they might be better at building, but are you guys better predisposed to like work in big tech if you're a better builder versus just doing the mundane tasks? Or
I think at the junior levels specifically, it doesn't translate. Like once you become like an architect, then those patterns become useful. You gotta like plan out like what system to build where and like how to design a system, right? Like you need a queue or like a stack or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But I wouldn't say from my experience like there was that many good builders. Like if you take the person from big tech and put him into like this environment, it'd be like it wouldn't translate as well. Like they have to like struggle to like figure out some things. Yeah.
I feel like we've also seen people kind of come in the office. They just left their big tech job and they kind of have trouble adapting to like startups.
Yeah.
Right. Like
yeah.
there's just you have to have so much more agency in like how you work.
Yes. Yeah. I went through like a phase of like learning this and unlearning some things as well.
What did you have to unlearn when you went from big tech to working on your own stuff?
Yeah. So, so I was like in the big tech like train for a while through school. The reason why I was involved with all this big tech stuff as well, because I went to this school called University of Waterloo and they have like an internship program. So like they force the kids to like go and get a
It's
co-op.
just Waterloo kids in SF.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them here.
It's like Stanford, Berkeley, and then out of nowhere just Waterloo.
Waterloo?
Yeah.
Dang, you put it on that level?
No.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
wow. That's crazy. You came at you.
It's just funny because Waterloo kids have these internship program, which is really interesting. You take 6 months on, like 1 semester like of classes, right? And then 1 semester of like internships.
Internships, exactly.
And so I'll come in, like I'll meet these people that are like 19, 20, and they've had like 4 internships. I'm like, how? And they're like, oh, I went to Waterloo. I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. Like that makes sense.
It's like a full-on game there. Like they go deep into this like internship game. It's like Thanos like collecting the rings for Avengers. Like you gotta get the Facebook one, like the Amazon one.
Dudes will go to Capital One and then they'll like kind of like make their way to like Microsoft and then Facebook.
Damn.
And you go to their LinkedIn bio, it's like previous intern at, or like their Twitter bio.
Yeah.
And it's like 6 of these like
But how do
big
they have
tech
the connects?
companies.
Waterloo has the connects?
Yeah.
Waterloo has
That's
to connect.
crazy.
Yeah. So they have like a job board, and then the
Like an
companies,
internal job board.
That's
companies
tough.
go there. Yeah, and post.
Then you see like 4 of these, like you see Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, and then graduating class of 25. You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Let's go.
What'd you say? Let's go.
Well, they're going to be, what are they going to be, like a PM at like Meta?
Yeah.
Tough.
I mean, it's a good track, honestly. Like I'm bashing it a bit, but like you get like a nice job offer after college, and like you go into big tech, you grow big from there.
I actually think it's a really interesting like education format.
Is
Like
that a
being
private
able
school?
to actually, I don't know, is it?
What do you mean by private school? Like
No, they don't have the same concept.
They don't have
in
the same
Canada.
concept? School isn't free in Canada, right?
it's not free.
Okay.
Yeah, you pay money to go.
But anyone can't just show up and go, like your healthcare.
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
It is private in that case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of people, like my friends would ask me like, hey, how do I get into startups? Like I want to get, I want, or even I want to get into
Go
like
to
Facebook.
Waterloo.
Yeah, literally.
My default answer is always just build side projects, kind of like what you were saying, because eventually you'll build enough side projects to where your skills will compound over every single project. You get just that much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have to pitch yourself or you have to talk to someone about what you've done, instead of saying some like arbitrary, I built a snake game, you can say, I built this like GTA, like see yourself in third person. And I built this like health tracking app, or I built this like app to detect cancer on your skin. I'm listing all of these just like hackathon projects that everyone always talks about.
Mm-hmm.
But just doing that puts you at such a big advantage compared to all these other people that don't do that. And they're just doing homework.
So you're saying be like Dillion in tech.
That's a different Dillion. This is Dillion.
No, I know.
Like Dylan's a good example too. Dylan's the kid from downstairs. Yeah, he
That's
also
what
just,
he
like,
does. Yeah, he works on.
builds random shit, cool shit that he thinks is cool, and then he goes and sells that, makes money. Yeah.
What was it like for you to make the shift of just like building stuff because it was interesting to then making money from it?
There was other stuff to like unlearn as well. So for me, like one thing I struggled with was like putting a price on things. It's like a very simple concept, but just like it seemed wrong to me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm like too generous or something in a way. Like as a developer, like I believe in like open source and giving things away freely. Why should I put a paywall on this, right? But I think after like the first few times of doing that, I just realized it's just like a natural progression. Like you just have to get over that internal, I don't know, fear or whatever you have. Just like put a paywall and then wait for them to pay. Yeah, wait, does that answer the question?
So what are some of the things you've built that you put a paywall on?
Yeah. So a lot of the ones with paywalls came recently. So
like Magic UI, I think, is one of them.
Magic UI is one of them. Yeah.
And what is Magic UI?
Magic UI is a collection of React and Tailwind CSS components.
Who's paying for React and Tailwind components?
Other developers.
Why wouldn't they just build it themselves?
So specifically the value prop with Magic UI is that there's like animated components that's like difficult to create or takes a lot of time to do manually.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to just like pay whatever amount of money, get access to the component. You can just copy paste into your code.
How much are you charging for something like that?
Yeah. So initially I started off, this is a whole story behind this too, but like I initially started off as $29 for like a preview of what I will be making. And then people like bought into that.
Really?
So you pre-sold it.
I pre-sold. I didn't make anything. I made a video. Yeah.
You pre-sold code before it was written.
Before it was written. Yeah.
So you know
crazy.
what you're doing. Yeah.
It was honestly like a big gamble. There's a whole story behind this too. Like I needed money to come to SF.
Okay.
So then I was like, fuck, what do I do? I'm like running out of runway. I can't pay rent here in SF. This is like before Build
You were in
Space.
Toronto.
I was in Toronto.
Yeah. Okay.
This is like before, so I got accepted to Build Space school. I had to figure out like what I'm gonna do to come here to the school.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, like I just built the landing page for automatic chat, which is my other project that I built. Like I'm gonna just use these components and like try selling them and see if people are interested.
Okay.
So I put up a tweet. I'm like, hey, I'm building React components, $29. Here's a Stripe link. And then the tweet blew up.
Damn.
Yeah.
How many followers did you have?
Like 800 maybe.
Damn.
800, 700.
Twitter is the best way to make money if you're a developer, because it's the only platform where the algorithm shares people's retweets and interactions as if they're sharing it from their own account.
His followers were more than 14-year-olds from Bangalore. Right?
Are you sure?
Huh?
Are you sure?
I mean, can they pay $29 for a pre-sale?
Sure.
Bro, isn't that like
USD
10,000
as well.
rupees?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I know a bunch of people get like fake followers too. You can pay money to get followers as well.
Yeah, we know. All right, so you needed money.
Yeah.
You put it up for pre-sale. It blew up.
Yes. Yeah. So that was crazy. Like, I haven't shared this publicly yet, but I will probably soon. But like the first 48 hours, it made like $5,000.
No
Damn.
way.
Yeah. And off of just like the one tweet with a Stripe link in the tweet.
The Stripe link was in the tweet.
Yeah, I posted Stripe link in the tweet, like payment link, pasted there.
That's
And I was like,
crazy.
yeah. So then that was like really, really mind changing for me. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Because like I made an estimate like worst case 1K from this, like best case 5K over the span of like a year. And
Wow.
Yeah, that was my estimate. But then like this completely like blew that off for me.
Does it still make money?
Yeah.
And it's a one-time purchase.
It's one-time purchase. That's correct.
Can you give us some numbers?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How much has it made to date?
So to date, right now we're at 11K. Started like 2 months ago.
And have you had to like keep maintaining it, or once it's done, it's kind of done?
So I create and post one new component every week, approximately.
Oh, so you're actively doing this.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours of work a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I create like a new thing, and just tweet about it, and then that's it.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very simple like business model, but it worked for me to like get the validation to like come here and like keep building stuff and like focus on more
How
projects.
much did you need? So you needed 5 to come here?
Yeah, I needed to pay rent here. So like once I made that, I figured out I got a place from my friend. It was like 1.5K a month rent.
That's
So
awesome.
I was like able to survive here like a fairly cheap-ish in the city.
Yeah.
But yeah, like 5K would be like a good safe number for me to like come
Yeah.
here and like work full time on this stuff.
Because we know so many people that come here and just
Figure it out.
survive,
on
but
the way.
no one's ever talked about like the actual, right?
Numbers,
like day-to-day process of like how you guys actually do it.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like a very lucky situation for me. It was like completely like shot in the dark. Like I tried something and then
That's
it
amazing.
worked.
Because as you know, my premier client
Who?
of my management agency,
Who?
he got famous for $0 a day,
Adil. Okay.
right?
Talking about Adil.
Huh? We'll have to bleep that confidentiality.
Okay.
But he spends $0 a day in SF.
I thought he told me that was a lie last week.
We're gonna have to bleep that too. But a lot of rules being broken here.
Are you
But
supposed to be talking about your clients on this podcast?
I can confirm it is 100% true. He tweeted that.
Yeah.
I saw that tweet too.
I think what's really interesting about that is like, well, there are two parts. One of it is like extending your runway. We had a founder come on our podcast. He's one of our friends. His name is Eric. He's building Banana. And he initially, he was running out of runway. He was living in SF. And at the time, Founders Inc. was giving out like Ethereum for people who won their ship it's, like their show and tells.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And so he won like a couple of those, and then he left to like Mexico to extend his runway. And his plan was to just stay there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then he like got a girlfriend there, and he like stayed there for a longer time. But it's an interesting concept of just like you can make so much money online with a lot less effort than people think, and it's not doing scammy things like drop shipping or selling courses or whatever.
Yeah.
I was talking to Mustafa. He's kind of on the effing team. He's our filmmaker a little bit ago. And he asked the question of like, if you got $100,000 right now, someone gave it to you, like what would you go build? And in my head, I was like, I would just leave and move to Turkey for like 7 or 8 months because cost of living is so low and quality of life is so high for like, price, like for the value. And then just like build stuff and sell it online. And that would easily be like a year or two. If I wanted to say that, that could be like 4 years of runway because theoretically 100K would last you like more than long enough to figure something out.
Yep, exactly.
I think the other interesting part is like one of those things they tell you about in like marketing very early on is like the concept of smokescreen tests. Before you build a product, you want validity before you spend a bunch of resources trying to build it, market it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so people like even Atomic VC, they do this. They would just build a landing page. And before they put any resources behind building the product, they would just dump a little bit of money on ads to see if the landing page converts to sales.
Yeah.
And then if someone buys the product, they can get hit with like we're like out of inventory, we sold out, like your order's been refunded, or your order will be out in like 2 or 3 months if it's like a easy to build product.
Yeah.
And you kind of just did that, maybe knowingly, maybe without knowing, but like it's such an interesting kind of just like the way everything worked out.
Yeah. It just happened like because of the pressure at the moment, I would say. Like I needed to figure out a way. I need to be scrappy. I have like literally like 3 or 4 days to figure out a way to make money. And then that's like where the spark came from me.
What did you do next? No, you made the 5K. You're able to move to SF. You've made 11K now so far. But then LLM report kind of comes out of nowhere, and you win Vercel's Accelerator.
Yeah. So my mindset right now is sort of parallel to like an indie hacker mindset. Are you familiar with what that is? Indie hackers.
Explain it.
Yeah, indie hackers is like a solo or like individual or partner, like people who would just build projects, test them out. And like they have like a portfolio of these. So they build like a bunch of them and then they just keep building these things and grow them. Eventually what will happen over time is that you have like a portfolio of bets. Some of them will like do really well. Some of them won't do well. But the fact is that you iterated, you move towards the ones that are working. So that's like where I'm at right now with my ideas. So like, I'm not set on like, this is like the 10-year project that I want to build for whatever. Like, I don't have that right now. It's more like, I'm testing out these ideas. I'm in the arena or the marina.
Oh God.
I'm figuring things out.
Yeah,
Don't cut his mic.
Yeah, we in the Marina Safeway trying things.
And LLM report was like one of those like tests as well.
Interesting. So was that something you were building before Vercel's Accelerator?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. And so what was it at that point? And then how did you even find out about the Vercel Accelerator and like what is it?
Okay. Yes. So for me, LM report started around like mid-April during Build Space season 3.
Nice.
So that was my project for Build Space. And then I tweeted that, grew that a bit. And then like long story short, I got invited to like the Build Space school over here. So I continued working on that while I was here. And I think like when I was coming here, I saw some tweets online from like Stephen Tay and a few other people like tweeting about like the Vercel AI Accelerator.
Yeah.
Goat.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured like might as well just apply and see what's up. Basically, I ended up getting into that accelerator, and all it was is like an online program. For 6 weeks, you build your idea and you share one weekly update with them.
So they literally just ripped off nights and weekends.
Sort of, yeah. It's like very, very similar. It's like an online nights and weekends type of program. Yeah, share an update, but the update is like within a Discord. Nights and weekends is different because you post publicly. Yeah. They just want like a small update in the Discord, share what you did, and then at the end of that, they have like a small demo day. And the demo day, they invite like investors and people in the industry to see your pitches, and they pick 3 winners to receive credits at the end of that. So that was like the accelerator program.
Wow. What did you get in like totality?
Yeah. So as a participant in the accelerator, I think it was like around maybe like 5K. So every team got like 5K worth of credits.
Okay.
And the 5K applies to like a bunch of different programs like Pinecone, OpenAI, Banana Dev, So like all these different softwares, they have like the credit systems. And then as a winner, you got $120,000 of credits.
Nice.
The big chunk of it was like for Modal Labs and Replicate. So 50K for each of those. And then 20K split amongst the rest of the providers. Yeah.
Did you win any cash for winning?
There's no cash for winning.
Okay.
No.
So it was more so just like a marketing thing.
Yeah. That's the vibe I figured out at the end. It's like, it's a great like branding exercise for Vercel. Like they put their name Vercel AI together and they just share it with the world, and people like building companies together with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, and they're pushing hard on like the AI package as well, right? NPM AI. So like they're trying to get big into the AI
So did you
space.
have to use NPM AI?
I didn't have to use NPM in AI, but
Okay.
I had to like mention like how we're using Vercel.
Okay.
So for hosting or for whatever.
And when you joined it, were you also kind of going into it with the mentality of like, I need to win this? Or was it just like, oh, I'm in, like I might as well kind of go through it?
Yeah, it's more of like go through with it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's more. I didn't have the intent to win. I mean,
But you still won.
yeah. I was surprised by that too, honestly. At the end,
23 hackathons do you good.
That's true.
I guess there's something that carries on from there because this is very similar. Like what I realized was like the highest leverage thing you could do for this thing was like work on the demo day video or the demo day, whatever you do. So for us, it was like we had 3 minutes to present our project, and all I did was like I literally like live logged into my app, did the 3 steps I have in my app, showed them how the app works, and that was it. And I think like the nice visuals and like the presentation that I did was the one that like really got them like interested. Like wow, that's like really impressive. Yeah.
Did you network with any investors or do
you want to take
any
funding
follow?
for it?
Sorry, for first your question. So like during the accelerator or like afterwards?
Afterwards. Like
Afterwards,
after you
yeah. Afterwards, I had a few talks with people who were interested. Still like in touch.
Are you interested in raising? Do you want to turn this into a startup, or in your head are you more so just like I want to build stuff that's interesting?
Yeah. So I would say right now I'm still trying to validate like the problem space and like figure out like what's the large scale problem that I want to solve. So this one has a lot of promise. A lot of users were interested. Like people like know this problem really well. Any engineer who's building like AI products know this problem. So yeah, but I think there's some signs and some signals that I noticed that weren't like lining up for me. Specifically, like it was difficult to monetize with developers and like indie hackers is what I found. It's like a single sole developers who are building like simple projects, like similar to like what I was doing before. That persona wouldn't really pay for this. And that's just like the data point that I had.
That's interesting because also I've noticed a lot of the projects that are kind of themed towards or marketed towards indie developers all have the pricing structure of like everything is free, but then you have to pay based on usage. So that way you could theoretically have a bunch of different accounts. Like you could set up a bunch of different super bases or a bunch of different like post hogs.
Exactly. That's a really good example.
But the companies make money if the project does well.
Yes.
And so at that point you're locked into using post hogs. It would be annoying to like switch over to Amplitude just because it costs more money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why like those companies also they go for the enterprise plan. So they make open source. Like examples you gave with Superbase and PostHog, they're both open source.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't realize PostHog's open source.
Yeah, it's fully open source. You can see like their whole code base on GitHub.
Wow.
Yeah, but their revenue, like the large chunk of it, like 40%, 50% comes from enterprise customers, right? So that's what we realized too. Like this is not for indie devs. So like a few weeks ago, we open sourced the project. It's now open source on GitHub. Yeah, and then we basically made it free for everyone. Anyone could just use it and I don't know, build on it, whatever. But we're like looking towards enterprise clients and seeing like if there's interest there and like what do they need, what their requirements are.
When you're trying to reach these indie developers, where do you find them?
I just tweet online. Like that's like my main mode right now. Yeah.
So you wouldn't even experiment with like Facebook ads or like influencer promotions or any of that. You would just tweet.
Yeah. Indie developers, it's like a very niche type of thing, but you can mostly find them on Twitter and like the indiehackers.com website.
There's a site for it.
There's a site for it too. Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, actually, I don't. Those are like the two main
People
places.
don't use Reddit for this stuff?
For indie hackers, I guess you could use that, but it's like not really focused on indie hackers specifically. Yeah.
But then if you're building things specifically for indie hackers, it looks like you kind of have like the user acquisition figured out. How do you make a living off of it? Because it sounds like these people don't want to pay unless their project took off. But I guess you also can't base your whole life off of hoping other people's projects take off.
Yeah, exactly. How to make a living off of LLM report or just in
general when you're building for indie hackers?
Oh, I see. I mean, there are projects like the Magic UI one, which they would pay for. So that, like, there are some things that people would be willing to pay for, but some things that they're not willing to pay for. So I'm just like figuring that out.
Didn't you shut it down, right? LLM report?
I didn't shut it down. No, it's still running, still live.
Where'd you get your info from? Yeah, we gotta have a montage at some point. And Vishal be like, "So you did X, Y, Z, right?" And the guy's like, "No."
Mylene told me that. So,
Bro, she was trolling.
putting Mylene on blast.
No,
But you slowed it down.
I slowed it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we
So
go.
I didn't stop it.
I was getting somewhere.
All right.
I was
Yeah.
getting there. $0 a day in SF, my client. Go ahead.
False.
Yeah, just like the talking process with like enterprise clients is like a lengthy process. So
Yeah.
like,
You don't want to do co-founders or any of that?
I have a co-founder too.
Oh, okay.
I have a friend named Haseeb from high school, and like we both work on this stuff together.
Shout out. See.
Shout out Haseeb. Yeah, shout out Haseeb.
How long have you been out of big tech for now?
My previous internship slash thing was at Shopify in 2020. It's been
Oh, wow. You've been out for a minute.
2 or 3 years or so. Yeah.
Interesting. And what was your kind of entrance again? I know for a little bit you worked at Lime Bike when you were like 19.
Yeah. So all this was through internships through college.
So it was all Waterloo. It wasn't like you doing anything outside of that.
Yeah, it was all Waterloo. Yeah, honestly,
That's
like
crazy.
They really carried me.
Yo,
through
Waterloo's
that.
got to have like a campus in SF at this
Does
point.
Krish go to Waterloo?
Probably.
It's Grish.
No, he goes to
got a
Michigan.
Oh.
Yeah.
He just looks like a dude that goes to Waterloo.
You can't say that.
Wait, what does that look like?
Huh?
In his head, he's just thinking brown people all go to Waterloo.
No, like innovative builders.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
He means brown people.
Brown people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you need a manager, bro,
Yeah.
I could manage it.
What would you do as a manager?
I tell you. All right. I think Coca-Cola.
I need this
right?
job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
I think you said it wrong, but okay.
Dillion. We're going to make you as big as those two brands. You're going to be synonymous with those brands.
All right.
Do you really want to be synonymous with McDonald's?
You're hired, bro.
You're going to be a
hired. You
global
convinced
brand.
me.
Bro, you're going to be bigger than those two brands.
Dude.
How are you going to do that? Wait. No. How are you going to do that?
You got to sign.
Okay, and then after
What's
they
the
sign,
deal?
what happens?
When he signs, we'll do that in a closed door. Pause.
You got connections?
Bro, I'm going to make you bigger than those two brands.
All right, you said that point. You got anything else beyond that?
Until the paperwork's signed, no.
What's he signing?
Huh?
What are the terms?
Yeah. What's the deal?
The deal?
Yeah.
I get 10% of your future earnings. So I don't take nothing that
Okay.
you don't earn.
And your promise is like, I'll be as big as Coca-Cola.
Yeah, way bigger.
What happens if you don't get him as big
Yeah.
as Coca-Cola?
That's a good question.
Wherever we're gonna fall, it's still gonna be a damn good place. Think about it.
Sounds a bit shady.
He said earnings, not profit.
Earnings.
Earnings. Yeah. Well, what's our expenses?
You pay my rent.
Shit. I have to pay it.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get you money,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
From deals,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Deal flow. We're gonna get him bigger than two of the most synonymous brands.
You keep saying that, but you don't know how.
It's behind a paywall.
Oh, just
I'll
like
send the
Magic
Stripe link.
UI.
It's basically this is
Tweet
basically
that.
Magic UI.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
So it's been since 2020. That was Shopify. And was that an internship or like a full-time role?
It was an internship.
Oh, so you just like after college, you just went straight into like building stuff.
Yeah. Well, actually, last year of college and like about a year or so after college, I was working at my friend's startup.
How did that end up happening? What was it like?
Yeah. I mean, I've known this friend. His name's Matthew. Since Shad actually, like the very first program I mentioned during high school. So he was also really, really big into startups and like building stuff. And he got me into stuff throughout college. And in his, I think he actually dropped out in like the second year to pursue startup full time. So in the fourth year of college, he's like, "Hey, I'm building. Do you want to come join me?" And then I was like, "Yeah, let's just go do that."
Interesting.
Yeah. So at the time, it was like a Bitcoin investing startup. So they're building an app where you deposit Bitcoin into the app, and then they give you like 10% or so APY on that.
And
Bitcoin.
you said I was shady.
Yeah. Actually, this is actually really, really non-shady. Like the point of this, like their philosophy was like to avoid all the crypto scams and all
That's
that.
crazy. Both of y'all worked at some crypto company.
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, that's true. I did work.
I heard you have a crypto background too, right?
Yeah.
He a huge crypto guy.
Yeah.
Huge.
What was your story?
6'4". So I was working on a social app when I got into college. At that point, I had built a bunch of stuff in like consumer, but like not tech. I did a clothing brand, did a podcast.
Okay.
And so and they did okay. And so I went into college. I was like, the next natural thing is I want to build a social app startup. Didn't go anywhere, but because of that, because I was building it, my friend invited me to this blockchain at Berkeley like club event, like a social.
Okay.
And there was this guy who was giving a talk. His name was Joey. He was the CEO of Fay Protocol.
Okay.
At the time, there were a team of just engineers, and I think they had just started that year. And he talks about the product. It was my first kind of like real intro into crypto. I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. What they were building was an algorithmically backed stablecoin that was pegged to Ethereum.
Okay.
And so theoretically, it wasn't like USDC. It was all like pegged to Ethereum. Or sorry, pegged to $1.
Yeah.
And you could basically use it like for governance and like managing your DAOs, et cetera.
Okay. Okay.
And so I was like, oh, this is really cool. I want to join. You guys don't have any marketers.
Yeah.
Can I get your phone number? He gives me his phone number after the talk. I stay up that night till like 4 a.m. and I'm like coming up with a pitch on why they should hire me. I show up to the office the next day. I'm like, I'm here to see Joey. I have this pitch, like presentation. I'm supposed to talk to him. We were supposed to have like a 20-minute meeting, and we went for like 2 hours. And I like went through this long list of all the content I would do, like all the stuff we could do if I worked there as like their marketing person. And end of the meeting, he was like, all right, you're our CMO. Like, here's your salary. Like, you're good with that? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I worked there for a bit.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, I got the connect.
Bro, it was literally just talking to people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think one thing that's interesting about your story is literally just like friends, like people you met that just kind of give you like opportunities. It's just, there's, what's it called? Like the concept of like you're increasing your luck surface area. The more people you talk to, the more you put yourself out there online, the more you kind of like build that personal brand, even if it's not through content, just the more opportunities that start to come to you just by way of more people knowing about you, especially if you're in the right spaces.
100%. I definitely agree with this as well. Like this is something I've applied for the past year, specifically through Twitter. Like just tweeting more frequently, like every day, every other day.
Twitter is such a hack right now, especially if you want to get into tech. I don't think people realize how like insane it is.
Yeah.
When's
like
it going to get too saturated? Is it going to get too saturated?
Well, people are... Go ahead.
Twitter specifically?
As in with this style of content, if it turns into like ChatGPT threads, like when is it going to get to a point where any dev releasing a product is just going to be like, this is another guy shilling something?
I see. I think Twitter, like the algorithm itself is just like the powerful part of it, right? Like even if you chill some stuff, like the quality stuff is like what surfaces to other people. Like if you get more retweets, more likes, more people will see that.
People on Instagram are already complaining about being shadow banned. I don't think it's shadow banning. I think people's content just got stale. And so you're always going to have the problem on any social app of like, oh, something works, now everyone's doing it. You just have to be better than everyone else. And you can't keep doing, like whatever worked 8 months ago, a year ago, isn't going to work now. Like TikTok was a huge opportunity, probably something similar to what Twitter is right now, in my opinion, for tech, like 3 years ago. But that's not to say that people aren't blowing up right now still. It was a lot easier 3 years ago, but it's still easy right now if you know what you're doing and you just put the time in. The same concept for Twitter. Like, sure, like there are a lot of threads. I just don't click on threads anymore. Like those are saturated. But I still watch all the Loom videos of people like, showing stuff. You can do things like adding your face to like the Loom. There are all these like little hacks that you can still do. And you're just gonna have to keep figuring out, like as more people start flooding the site, you just have to figure out what makes you different every time. And also like the sooner you grow your brand of like, I know everything this guy puts out is quality, you can kind of like defend yourself against that. Like Stephen Tay from Vercel, we talk about him a lot. Like he just has that brand of just like, oh, he's a joke because Adil.
We've never talked to him until today.
No. Oh, we have. You should know his name. Yeah, you just know his name.
No, I know his name.
I brought his like tweets up in like meetings and stuff.
Okay.
And then he was like, oh yeah, Adil introduced me to some guy from Vercel. And like 3 months later, or like 2 months later, he was like, oh yeah, Adil introduced me to this guy. I was like, you knew him?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Been known. It's just client manager stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Nothing crazy.
But point is, whenever he puts something out on Twitter, like it's like people have, like they just know that it's going to be cool, like it's going to be interesting. And there are a few people like that have started to build their brand of like anything they put out, you just know it's going to be good.
Quality. Yeah, exactly.
So one thing that's interesting, I think, about the startup that you worked for with your friend is you had mentioned that it was very much like a good way for you to learn because you were kind of doing bug fixes. You're kind of just like we were talking about, like building with intent. So right now, do you think you would get the same value out of working for another like technical person at their startup, or do you think you've reached the like tipping point of like I'm good enough to do my own thing now?
I think the biggest thing I learned from working at the startup was just like what do you need to build a startup. Like there's just like some gaps that I just didn't know like how things work. Like how do you raise $5 million? Like well, what the fuck do you do?
What do you do?
You just ask.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's that simple.
it's very simple. Yeah, I
You learned
definitely overthought that one.
You gotta have a pitch deck. You gotta do that. No, bro, just tweet.
Yeah, you just tweet. Just,
I'm raising.
yeah,
And then people will help you
come
figure
to
everything
you.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even if they don't give you money, people will help you figure things
That's
out.
tough.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of the things at like the ground level, like what does it take, and then being there, like seeing it all happen, like that gave me the confidence. Like, okay, I could just like go try it myself, figure it out as things go. As things go.
So I got one question before we kind of jump into our last segment, which is, it sounds like you've learned a lot over the years about like engineering from like your mentors or your friends. What's your one tip for everyone that's listening right now that wants to make the jump from big tech into a startup or building their own thing?
I can't give advice. I can give like a bit of a like my personal story. I guess we already talked about this, but honestly, I think you reach a point of confidence in yourself at some point. I think you'll just know, like, if you've built enough things yourself, you know like what exactly it takes to build a product, right? And you can do that while working at big tech. You can build like a small project on the side, and like just like have confidence in yourself that way. I think one thing that I would, I guess, advise is maybe start building your audience beforehand as well. I think that's really valuable, like through Twitter. Is if you can build a project and build an audience, you can get like the inbound and like the increase your luck surface area, like what we talked about earlier. So if you can do that, that's like that'll ease your landing into working at a startup. Because I think there's a big transition that occurs. Like you have to like unlearn all the structures that happen at big tech, like reporting to a manager or like proper code processes, and you just gotta like learn the scrappy behavior of building a startup or like building a project. So if you can like get some of that done while on the job, get some validation, get some more confidence, and de-risk that, you'll be like really well set off to go do your own thing.
So now we got a little thing.
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
I got some tweets
Okay.
from you.
Oh, my own tweets. Okay.
Your own tweets.
Damn. Hope it's recent. I don't know about my old tweets.
I went back pretty.
Shoot.
You don't tweet anything crazy.
Yeah.
It's just some.
No hot takes
It's just some funny shit.
While he finds this, what's your biggest hot take on developers?
on developers.
On developers as a people,
as a people,
as a community.
no hot take. Honestly, I think they're just cool. They're just cool people.
God.
They're
Great people.
they're great people. To be honest, they change the world. Like this is the forefront.
DevRels or developers?
Developers.
He doesn't
What
know
about
the difference.
DevRels?
You don't know what that
You think
is.
DevRels are good people?
Man. All right,
All right,
read
you
the
ready?
tweets, man.
You ready for this tweet?
Sure.
October 28th, 2016.
Oh God. Wait,
said
I
not
can
too
already-
recent.
Well, this is just really time. I don't know why
Oh,
this
no.
got me so good.
Is this like about Diwali or something?
No. Excited for my first hackathon tomorrow. Hashtag hackathon.
Crazy.
Oh.
It just got because I've never seen someone do hashtag hackathon.
Yeah. Yo, I wasn't using Twitter.
This
back
was
then either.
2016. Hashtags were probably
What was the
normal.
first hackathon? You got to remember.
Yeah, I do. It was like this. It was like a Chrome extension, like hackathon thing at Waterloo specifically. So like they were building something for the Waterloo's internal portal, and like we had to like figure some like I don't know like a new feature for that.
They was scamming, bro. They just
Damn.
had
yeah,
child labor.
they were just like farming us for ideas back
The
then.
first hackathon I ever went to, I hosted it.
You hosted it too?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and then you scammed them.
How did I scam them? I
thought
gave
you
everyone
said they
Apple
scammed
Watches.
it, but you offered it.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
How'd you get that-
Actually,
how'd
I
you
ain't
get that
heard of
together?
one person that got one.
What happened?
So who got one?
Arb did not get one. He lost.
No, you won.
No,
Was it
he
here?
lost. He was gonna. Someone
He
wanted
did?
to like buy his his product, but he didn't win. I think he should have, to be honest.
I heard a bit about
That was the
this
first
on-
hackathon Arb went to as well.
Okay.
I think.
I think. Was it?
No, this was like before.
Okay,
I think
okay.
like before we joined.
All right, October 31st, 2016.
Oh God, won my first hackathon.
You tweeted, "I love life."
Oh,
hackathon
man.
did you good, bro.
Wait. So what was the first? The first tweet was October 16th. You said
October 28th.
28th.
3 days later, you tweeted, "I love life."
Damn,
my
that
God.
Waterloo
Did you win the
hackathon did
hackathon?
him good.
I don't think we did win.
What did you
love
love
losing.
about life?
I love life. I feel like, oh man.
What prompted you to tweet that?
Who did you meet at
It
this
must have been a
hackathon?
good, yeah.
I think I had a really. I think it was a weekend. I probably was a weekend, but I distinctly remember actually like walking along campus and it was like really good weather. And then I was listening to a song by The Weeknd, I think. Yeah, so I was just like vibing. And
The
then
Weeknd does do that too.
Yeah. And especially his album back then, I think it was like Starboy or something like back then.
2016.
Starboy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Weekend you can co-sign because y'all grew up the same.
Yeah, the 6.
Like at the 6, both aspiring doctors turned into engineers.
Engineers.
He's like a sound engineer.
Oh yeah, that's
Right?
fair. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, I got an even better tweet.
Oh boy.
October 21st, 2020.
2020.
You said gonna build something tonight. And some dude named Critty Corn responded, "Oh, what you gonna build?
Ooh.
What did you
man.
build?"
something.
October 2020. 21st.
2020.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, yo, this is so funny. I think I know what this was. I was building like this is crazy, like an augmented reality menu app.
Oh.
Yeah. This
Wait,
is
wasn't
very similar.
Johnny trying to build something?
There's
like
so
that?
many people I've met here who doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Is that Chef?
yeah.
Was that Chef?
I think so. Chef Studio. It might-
Not Johnny. Neil and Jack.
Yeah.
Farza did the same thing too.
Yeah, Farza did the
Farza
same
did-
thing too.
Yeah. So many people had the same exact
Oh, what- wait,
context.
what
into
is it?
this. So,
AR.
like, imagine you're at a restaurant and you're like trying to order food,
Okay.
but there's like there's
Why
this.
are you laughing?
You pull out your phone.
You were so enthralled. And he was like, imagine you go to a restaurant and you order food.
You got me. You got me.
And then what next? And then
McDonald's.
what do you do?
You open up your phone. You see McDonald's
Okay.
on your phone on the table in
Sponsor.
3D.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Wait, so I'm at McDonald's.
yeah.
I put my phone down.
Well, not down. You hold out like this.
Okay.
He doesn't know what AR is.
Okay. I'll
And then
say.
what happens?
And then you just
Open your
see,
camera.
Yeah, if you open your camera, so turn it on.
All right.
You would see like what you want to order, and you can like swipe through it.
What?
You can visually see
like
that.
the menu items?
Yeah. You can see like a plate of like pasta, a plate of like a
$1 trillion.
McDonald's,
That's a great idea.
etc. And then you just click on it and order, and that's it. That was
Why
the
don't we
goal.
have that?
Because
if
it
all
should
of y'all
exist.
were working on
Okay,
it.
well, so what happened was this guy went and built LLM report. That guy built build space, and then
Yeah, but why didn't they take that? You don't think that's a viable
Jack
idea?
works at Zeet.
But why isn't that a good idea?
It's a great idea.
Why didn't anyone build it?
You know, pivots happen in startups. It's part
Pivots
of
happen.
the core thesis.
Y'all
What
don't wanna
happens
make
when you
money, huh?
become an entrepreneur.
I tried with that one.
The thing I
really
learned
wanted
about
that to work.
entrepreneurship out here is nobody wants to make money.
It's all about the valuation.
Like, the more money you can make, the worse your idea is.
That's true. They said once you turn on the revenue, it's never high enough. So don't
That's
make
crazy,
revenue.
bro.
Oh, what?
Why'd you stop?
Stop the app?
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically found that restaurants aren't the best like customer for these types of things. Like they're not on the forefront of tech. They don't have
DoorDash
like
would disagree.
yeah. So even with DoorDash, though, like
point.
restaurants don't like the relationship they have with DoorDash.
Really?
Yeah, like because like it's like
they
really
hate it, yeah.
like tight margins,
Yeah.
and then DoorDash makes it even tighter. And then on top of that, they have to like manage the whole delivery system on top of like their own
Interesting.
restaurant operations, right?
But they use it.
They use
Because
it
they have to,
because it brings
otherwise-
in more customers that way. Yeah, but we don't bring in customers. We're just like people pull out their phone and like see a menu, and then customers, the restaurant owners were like, why the fuck do I need this? Like,
Bro, there was an NFT restaurant that was going to be on top of Salesforce that shut down.
wait,
But if they
what?
didn't, that would have been a cool feature for that restaurant.
NFT restaurant, what does that mean?
Gary
though?
Vee has one in New York. It's a sushi restaurant.
So if you eat there, you get like an NFT. Like
No,
So
no,
you
no,
have
you
to
need the
have an
NFT,
NFT
yeah.
to get in. It's
Oh.
either like 18,000 or like 300,000 or some insane number.
Oh,
and then
like
a
select-
week ago, it like shut down. And then everyone in the Slack was like, damn, IRL rug pull.
Damn. There's a lot of scams going on in the crypto ecosystem in general. Yeah, it's
Well,
hard to-
speaking of
hard
that,
to
this
tell.
is relevant now.
Oh boy.
This tweet, May 18th, 2020. I can't believe how shameless and desperate companies behave just to fight for your attention. Who are you talking
Oh.
about?
I think I was subtweeting Google at this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
was
coming
Google.
Google
Thank
like
God
that?
he did put Google in the McDonald's.
That's crazy.
Coca-Cola.
You just came to Google like that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What they do to you?
Wait, this is May
They shut down his
2020?
AdWords account.
Yeah, May 2020.
Yeah, I think it was Google, but I remember some context behind this was like, I really hated the Google search experience. It was just like full of like ads and like whatever like bullshit and like sponsored postings. Like whenever you search something on Google, like,
That's the whole point.
yeah, but like you never get anything of value. Like I would always like figure out ways to find what I want.
I see what you're
It's like something Reddit or like
You
or, like,
never hit
whatever.
the I'm feeling lucky button?
I've never,
Nah.
I've hit it once actually.
Give me a
Especially-
list, top 5 companies you hate.
Top 5 I hate.
Yeah.
Bottom 5.
No,
Uh,
top 5 that he hates.
Honestly, I
Yeah,
gotta
this is
say,
a segment
I'm a
now.
very like neutral person. I don't
No,
really,
no,
I don't,
it
I don't
seems
really,
like you
I don't
gotta
really
be-
hate.
So what do you
I'm
hate?
not buying that.
You got to pick 5 companies
If you tweet
hate.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
I'm not buying that.
I was an angry kid back then.
Yeah, but you got some
Bring it
angry-
back out. Come on.
Yeah.
Bring it back out. Companies I hate.
Smile.
Or you
came with his face.
dislike. You just don't like the way they do things.
You like strongly dislike.
Yeah.
Hate's a strong word.
It could even be our portfolio companies.
Only if Vishal is affiliated.
Oh yeah. Anything that you touch is gonna be something I dislike.
Smart man.
I mean,
Zeet.
honestly, I don't have. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you for this one.
All right, so Google's on the list.
Google was one. Yes,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah. Nah, bro, I'm chilling. I don't really have any hate for any of these companies. Yeah.
You a changed person.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of stuff that happened like throughout this journey that like made me different in some ways.
What happened?
Like after I quit my job, I went on this 10-day silent meditation retreat. Like I didn't talk to anyone, didn't speak, didn't write, didn't even read. It was just like 10 days, 10 hours a day of like meditating, and that like really changed a lot of things about me after that experience too.
What changed? Wait, what did you do all day?
Meditate,
Like just that?
just
Were
meditate.
there
Just
people
sit.
around?
You
Like,
just-
yeah. What do you?
Yeah, there was like a teacher
Okay.
at the front, and then
Would
there
they
was, like,
talk?
They would talk. They would give instructions. Well, actually, it was like audio recording, but
wow.
audio recording plus like some instructions. And then, yeah, we just go for like 1 hour blocks. We just meditate for 1 hour, have like a small 5-minute break, and go back to meditating.
So you could talk for a little bit.
No talking at all, though. Like 1 hour break was like go to the restroom or something, or take a small walk. But for 10 days, we didn't talk. Like
So but you're just thinking.
You're just thinking,
in your
yeah,
head, And
exactly.
you can't say anything. You
Yeah.
can't talk to yourself.
I mean, you do naturally, like your
Like
mind.
you couldn't hear your voice.
I mean, you
Do
guys
you have like dueling voices in your head?
nah, bro, no.
And then one side's like, that's crazy.
That's just you.
do you have that?
All the time. Be walking
Bro,
around
he's
like,
just
that's
the voice
wild.
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I was like, that's wild.
yeah.
Sometimes you got to say it out loud too.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, what happened? I looked. He's not holding a laptop. He's not holding a phone. He's just like staring at a wall. Just like
Yeah.
that's
I
wild.
was like, that's wild.
That's wild.
Right?
Yeah. I
Just like that.
I don't have that voice though.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they basically just like taught us how to meditate, and then the first like 3 or 4 days, it's a process of like you focusing in and like becoming more concentrated because your mind always gets distracted. Like first 4 days were like really tough because I'm thinking about like the future, like what am I gonna do after this thing, like what the fuck did I do like a year ago, like all these different things come to mind. But then after 4 days or so of this, you become a lot more calm. Like you just stop thinking about all these random things. You just focusing on the present moment.
Wow.
And then from there we went even deeper, like because we still got 6 days left. So we were like really like digging deep into being more present is the way I could describe it, and like being more aware of like our bodies and like where we are, and like I could go really deep into this too if you want me to.
Go for it.
Go.
Sure, yeah. Like the main exercise that they told us to do was to focus on our breathing first. So you'd focusing on like your breath, and that's all your attention would be focused on. And then on day 4 or so, they specifically said to focus on your upper lip because you would feel like hot or cold on your lip when you breathe in or out. So if you're breathing out, you feel like hot. If you're breathing in, it's like cold. You feel like a small sensation on your lip. It's like
I
really,
just did it. Wow.
it's
you're
really,
right,
really
yeah.
unnoticeable, but it's like right there, yeah. But imagine focusing on that for like one whole day. Like you're just focusing on like the hot and cold for like the whole day. And then we did that, and then we got really, really in tune with our body. Like you would like feel like the sensations, like the tingling type of feeling. Day 5 or day 6, we were focusing on our whole body. So we would like focus on one part of our body, sit there for like a few like a minute or so, and just like focus on the sensations you feel there. And you just keep scanning your whole body. Like it can go like around your like our arms, and then like down your chest, down your legs. You focus your attention there, and then feel the sensations. And at some point on like day 6 or so, you'd feel like a tingling throughout your entire body. Like you could feel like all the small like I don't know like a gust of wind comes to you. You feel like your hair is like tingling a bit. Like you feel like if someone was like speaking, you would feel like a bit of tingling too, like a small vibration you would feel. We were like really, really, really like hyper focused on this, right? And then some crazy stuff happened too, like towards the last few days. So I was doing mostly surface level, focusing on my sensations and being present and like being aware. But in the last 2 days, we were told to like be aware of what's within us too. So like I would like scan like through my body, and I would like scan like through my lung, and then like to
And by
back.
scan, you mean you were just touching it?
I wasn't touching it. So like when I say scanning, it's like, say I'm like sitting there meditating, like eyes closed. I would focus my attention on like, I don't know, like my chest, for example. Focus on the back of my chest, like I guess my back, or focus on my feet, right? So you just like focus on that with your mind.
Damn.
Yeah, because we all have neurons there, right? We all have like neurons, sensors, like they have like the sensations, right? So it was really crazy. Like last day, I would feel stuff inside my body and like all these like different things. It was a really fascinating experience. I think like I just learned a lot about like myself, and then a lot of like past regrets and like things that were bothering me for a while. All those things like got dissolved. Like it just like completely didn't matter to me anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I felt like a lot. I felt really, I guess, healed after that. You could say. Like
So people shouldn't go to therapy. They should just do this.
Yeah.
10
I
days.
definitely highly recommend
Heal.
this. Like it's
Your
actually.
problems just dissolve.
I mean, if you do it
That's
correctly.
crazy.
Yeah. Because also like people who didn't follow the instructions there, like they would just like
okay.
play around and whatever.
Yeah.
But
They
if you
play
actually,
around with,
I mean, yeah, there was like
they
people.
just talk. Is that?
Some people were like, yeah, like not doing what they asked. But yeah, if you do that, there's like a lot of benefits you can get from that.
Wow.
And that like made me a lot more calm going into like building stuff and like being really like present and like in the moment type of thing.
Do you feel like your emotions are very like all over the place when you're building stuff?
No, they used to be. I'm like I feel highly regulated nowadays, like super stable. Like,
Really?
Yeah. But before, like in college, it was all over the place. I would like sleep like whack hours and like be emotional about what I'm building and like get ego attached to what I'm building too. That's the big problem for like early founders. Like, oh, I want to build this like massive company, right? I had all that issues, but it just all dissolved, you could say.
Bro, I used to get anxious when I was learning how to like code stuff because I'd be like, why isn't this working?
Yeah. All the things like debugging things too.
Yeah.
You just get like fired up, like why is this not working, right?
It's bad.
Yeah, but
I would get those spikes on my Apple Watch.
Shit, you might have
you gotta
to
calm down.
You should try that.
try what?
See how long.
Silent retreat.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. If you want, I can let you know. It's called Vipassana.
Is it in SF?
So they have programs around the world.
Okay. 'Cause don't we know some? I feel like you were
For
telling
us.
me. Yeah.
It was for us. Yeah.
There is one in California. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's in SF specifically. But the origin behind this is that the Gautama Buddha, like the person who invented Buddhism, he invented this technique, and it's just been like passed down. And then people still teaches at schools, and Vipassana is the center which they teach that.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a whole like Eastern philosophy Buddhism type thing.
How much does it cost?
It's free,
It's free.
completely free, full 10 days. They give you like housing and food and everything.
What?
Yeah, it's all volunteer based and donation based.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Wow.
they really want to like help people, and
Well, that's
funny.
actually works.
I'm wondering why I was even drawn to that too.
Yeah. How did you learn about it?
Well, a friend did a similar thing, but he did it himself. So he set up his own 10-day silent retreat for himself. Actually, no, I think he did 3-day. But he would just like meditate for himself by himself and like figure it out by himself. But the reason why he did it was because he read a book that talked about Vipassana. Yeah.
Damn, you better see us on the next episode. Just 2 hours of silence.
Yeah. It's the best
10
episode.
days.
10 days. Yeah.
Twitch
I mean-
stream it.
That'd be a pretty cool idea, actually. Didn't like Justin do this stuff earlier? Like,
Justin
Justin can.
Yeah.
Like,
This why I signed you.
yeah.
You signed him already? I didn't see any paperwork.
Huh?
I didn't see any paperwork.
Under the table, 10%, right?
Yeah.
All right. Time to wrap this up. What's
Cool.
the link that you want to send people to?
Just head to my Twitter. Everything I post there. It's like if you want to stay up to date with like what I'm doing, it's like all on my Twitter.
Thanks so
Nice.
much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things. We'll see you next week.
Cool. See you
Peace.
guys.